forest one was evening, so I can just see them.
Okay,
but
sort
I
of
saw
like
them very well.
Okay.
The mailbox one was in dead night, like around 11, 12.
Okay.
Pretty late.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. And just those 3 times that you actually visually saw them?
No, there's another time.
Go ahead, explain.
The 4th time was a very chilling one.
Okay.
He was
Set that back up.
it wasn't here.
Okay.
Actually, it was here, but not from the room.
Mm-hmm.
It was right over there. See those tall bush?
Okay, left and from our position right here.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was in there,
Okay.
and me and my dad were going to check out the water pump. And he had the flashlight. He shined it right in the Gray's face.
Do you mind taking us out there and explaining?
Yeah, I would.
Let's do that.
Great.
Was hiding in this area, probably right here. His face was around in this nice spot where he could hide very well. And my dad shone the flashlight right in his face, and he had this very irritated look about him. It was a squint. Yeah, squinted his eyes. So like this movement was showing, you know. He had a, like a frown, bad facial expressions. But really scared me is he didn't say nothing to me. I just saw him, so I took off, you know. And I didn't have my sword, yeah, but I was too scared to use it. But my dad heard him, so I assumed it talked to him. You know, I've heard they talk telepathic, you know. So I assumed to talk to him, but I saw him, you know. So I took off because I saw him. My dad says he took off because he heard him, you know, like screech or growl at him. So we both ran for 2 different reasons, and ran back in the house and locked the doors.
So, walk in.
The flashlight?
I think it's out of my pocket. I'm gonna go stand in there. Tell me when I'm in the right spot.
He was keeping very well. I remember one night thinking that was a gray, but it wasn't. But yeah, he was right here. His head was right around there, or a little bit lower.
Make sure it's
Very small. Yeah, I don't know how he stood it. Probably use the trail. Tall, and his only thing that showed was his head, his face. But I could see his face because we shone the flashlight on him, obviously. But he was very pale. That helped too. And but we could not see his body for some reason. I think he must have been holding so still we didn't see him, or we didn't pay attention. But maybe he just blended in. You know, I don't know, but it's very scary looking at that back. I can still even picture him perfect. That's all I really got to say about that little detail like that. But yeah, I still see him. His body seemed camouflaged, or we didn't pay attention. You could see his face very well. He wasn't like the other gray, or else he was just in a better mood because he was very pale, like white, gray, very pale. I saw that very easy. I remember every detail about him.
Michael
Allen.
Is it A-L-L-E-N or A-N?
Ian.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 58.
If you don't mind me asking, 58 years old. Okay. Where are you from originally?
I was born in Bayshore, Long Island, New York. Lived there 8 years, lived 9 years in Delaware, and then I was in the military for 7 years around the world.
What did you do in the military, if I can ask?
I was infantry and combat engineer.
Okay. What was your primary career up until your retirement, or not retired?
My primary career was a bulldozer operator.
And what do you do now?
Just plain old retired.
Plain old retired.
Disabled. I got 100% from the VA.
Oh, okay.
They call it retired.
Right.
Disabled.
Were you a veteran?
Yes.
Which war?
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Obviously, don't mind us videotaping you.
No, I don't mind.
Also, if it comes to it later on in the investigation, would you guys prefer or allow us to put you guys through a lie detector test?
Absolutely.
Okay. Start from the beginning, when everything started, every little detail that you can give me. Let's start with the first occurrence where you believe you thought you heard or saw something.
Okay, this is very interesting to me. I've heard a lot of sounds in the woods before. I'm 58 years old. But I went out to check the water pump out here.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went out to the pump, something tall and thin rushed away from me, going that way, into the woods. And I knew it wasn't a bear. I knew it wasn't anything I've ever heard.
At the first, what was your first thought? What did you think it was prior? Because obviously the alien thing didn't come into play until later. What was your first thought? What did you think it was when you went out there?
I had no idea. It was just something tall and thin and rushing away from me.
Okay.
I had my thoughts was, what the heck is that? You know.
Can you describe the sounds that it made as it vacated your property? What sounds did it make?
Just made rustling through those funny looking palm trees.
Yeah. I think they're, what kind of palms are those?
Like scrub palms.
Yeah, scrub palms. I mean, was it light going through, or did you hear breaking?
No breaking.
No breaking.
It was just swoosh through all that stuff. So I knew it wasn't a bear or nothing. Bears break stuff.
Yeah.
You know? They break everything as they go.
Yeah.
And this didn't make any footstep sounds. It just made a whoosh.
Okay.
And for some reason I knew
But it did hit branches physically. You heard it hit leaves.
some branches
or palms.
and those 20 leaves.
You heard it go. What was the next thing that happened after that?
Next thing that happened, the water repairman came out, and I told him, just trying to make chit chat, that I heard something big go through the wood. And he said, "Oh, maybe a bobcat or a raccoon." And I didn't argue with him, but I knew it wasn't a bobcat or a raccoon. The next thing that happened was I told my son about it. Something big went through the woods, Shane. I mean, something big and tall, swoosh through the woods to get away from me when I was out there. And next thing I know, in the morning, he's telling me about seeing the faces in the window, one of them hanging by a claw.
What was his reaction when you told him about the large thing going through the woods?
Playing his video game didn't really matter to him.
Okay.
No, it didn't. He didn't even faze him.
He's like, sure, Dad, right?
Yeah, well, no one wants to hear about this tall thing that went through the woods, so, you know, well.
So he didn't seem concerned or anything like that?
Not at all.
So when your son told you about what he saw, what was his response to you? What did he say to you? What's the first thing he said to you?
He told me that he saw aliens in his window, and he told me that the moon was right on him. He really knows what he saw. And he said one was hanging in a tree, just bobbing his head slightly back and forth. And I figured that's the one that made the claw.